back way nice and slow. Feel the ebb and flow, but please get sucked out to sea. and you never knew. You worry about how it all went south so long ago. You can't see it starting over again. And all along we know it's wrong, but we're not quite set in nine. Tell me if you're awake. Can I talk to you again? Tell me what's a mistakes that have made us only friends. Now I notice how you don't stay anyways. Don't you wait, don't you wait. Don't you wait, don't you wait. Don't you wait, don't you wait. Falls apart and yet still we start, 'cause we're not quite set in nine. Tell me if you're awake. Can I talk to you again? Tell me what's it mistakes that have made us only friends. Now I notice how you don't stay. All along we know it's wrong. I was not DOA. It falls apart and yet still we start. That's how we play these games. So say it now if you ever will. And please don't hesitate. And just don't wait. And I've noticed now you don't stay anyways.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Extreme Motorsports 99 on Twitch. We are live here at Richmond, Virginia for the America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan 100. This is round 6 of the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series, and I am Hunter Sleppy, your lead announcer for the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. Joining me, as always, in the booth is Jacob Bell, production coordinator and Extreme Motorsports 99 and team owner of Jacob Bell Racing. Jacob, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I think we got a lot of action we're going to get to here later tonight in the Richmond race, so I'm looking forward to that as practice is winding down here. But like you said, America's Auto Auction 100, huge thanks to them hopping on board, sponsoring this race. I think it's going to be an exciting one, and Richmond's one of my favorite tracks, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Richmond is indeed a special racetrack in itself. Whether it's under the lights or on the bright side of the sun, the Richmond Raceway is home for excitement. It is known as the Action Track, sponsored by America's Auto Auction, more like Auto Action tonight. It combines the best of both worlds, super speedway speeds and short track action Only 3/4 of a mile in length. It's not unusual to win this tempers flaring at Richmond. We are set for 100 miles here tonight, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, as you mentioned, not an unusual sight to see tempers flaring, especially in these late model cars, with it being such a short, such a short race, only 100 laps, making up 75 miles in length. I mean, these guys are going to be on top of each other all night long and really getting after it. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how it ends up playing out here as practice is winding down, and we'll get you a look at the results and all that here shortly. But overall, man, really, really, really excited, and we've had a pretty good season so far. With the championship kind of shaking out, Matthew Robinson getting the win last week at Homestead. We do have a recap we can get to here shortly, so I think if you got the okay, we'll go ahead and show you guys last week's recap from the Homestead race down in Miami. Actually, I changed my mind. Let's stick here for qualifying. My bad on that one.
Get a little ahead of yourself there, Jake, as we have less than 30 seconds until the practice session's over, and then 5-minute qualifying session followed by a 15-minute drivers meeting, telling the drivers what they can and cannot do. Basic rules that Jake you would know as former driver or current driver.
So the drivers meeting pretty quick as the season goes on. Everybody's kind of getting into the flow of things, and tonight only 11 drivers on track. These guys have been racing around each other for 5-6 weeks already, so they're gonna have a pretty good idea of what's going on. As you see, practice ticker is ending. Matthew Robinson with a quick time of 23.710. He's going to take the W in the opening practice, with James Shane Wolf in second, Jacob York third, Cliff Mullins in fourth, and Kyle Knapp, I believe, making his first start in the late model series, rounding out the top 5.
Well, Jeremy Rigney going to be 6th in practice. Sebastian Taylor missed last week. He's back at Richmond, 7th in practice. Jeremy Knapp, and brother of Kyle Knapp, in 8th. Dawson Miller, 9th. Johnny Collier, 10th. And then 11th is going to be Rick Ward, Sr. So that's it for practice. We're about to start qualifying. It's only 5 minutes. Drivers can go out and make 2 laps for their run. First one, typically a warm-up. Second one is where you'd find the better of the 2 laps. And here we are on board.
On the flag stand.
Here we are riding in car with Jeremy Knapp in the 20. One of the first drivers to go out. There you see him diving off in the 1 and 2, getting down the back stretch. You got to keep it as straight as possible.
Yeah, another key component of this track and these late model cars is getting it as low as possible in the corners. You want to be right up next to that yellow line, get yourself straight off the corner for a good launch. When you put the throttle down, first lap on the board, a 23.96 for Jeremy Knapp. Jeremy Rigney, however, goes to the top of the charts with a 23.853. Sebastian Taylor crossing the stripe now for his first lap, 23.853 as well. So we got a tie for the top spot.
Tied for the top spot, but only one can claim pole. There's Cliff Mullins. He scraped the wall there coming out of 2. That's going to put a damper on his lap time hopes. And there's Dawson Miller, also coming down the backstretch, going through 3 and 4. He's taking a high approach. This is his warm-up lap, I believe.
Yeah, coming to the green here. Took a high approach to get a good launch off the corner. Actually, a pretty smart move there from the 56. Basically, you're building up as much speed as possible before you get to the green flag. Did a good job of that, looking like he's running a really smooth 1 and 2. Let's see if he can corral it down the back straightaway and into 3 and 4.
'56 looks smooth sailing as he heads off turn 4. We'll see what his lap time is. Up on the charts, it's a 24.188. He's going to place him 6th right now on the ticker. There's only 4 drivers that have yet to go out, as we're about halfway down our qualifying session. There's Jacob York. He's one of the drivers who has yet to go out. Rick Ward placing a 24.371 that last lap, but his fastest was a 24.311. That's going to put him 7th fastest. There's Barney the flagman. Best seat in the house.
He's ready to go.
He's itching to throw that flag.
Dawson Miller's second lap looks like he's not going to pick up any, so he's going to stay with the 24.188. Jacob York now coming to start his first lap in that number 25 Miller Racing graphics machine as he heads down into turn 1 and 2.
Less than 2 minutes here in qualifying. Jacob York going through the backstretch, or down the backstretch, coming into 3 and 4. for his first lap. We're going to see how fast this one is. Coming through the front stretch, looking at our speed charts, and it's going to be a 23.874. It's going to place him third, just ahead of James Shanewolf. We're in a 23.893, and it looks like he's going to pull her in. And there's Matthew Robinson, last week's winner, the points leader for the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. He is one to beat. Took advantage of, being purely faster than the competition, and Sebastian Taylor, who missed last week, and extended his points lead by about 27 points.
Coming through 1 and 2, Robinson looks like he's got a pretty good lap time going here. He's going to have to try to beat Sebastian Taylor. He's actually tied with Jeremy Rigney right now, still for the top spot at a 23.853. Robinson getting some right now, a 23.733. He's going to go over a tenth quicker than Sebastian Taylor, and he's going to take the top spot.
Matthew Robinson on a whole different spectrum than the rest of the field right now. It just seems like that man cannot be stopped. He's going to park her on the backstretch, and he's going to sit first for the last 35 seconds of qualifying. Johnny Collier going ahead to put his lap time up. It's a 24.295. I don't believe anyone else can dethrone Matthew Robinson.
No, I think
we have yet to see Kyle Knapp take the track to put up a qualifying time. There's the 33 of Collier. He's going to pull her in.
I think that's going to wrap it up here, Hunter, for qualifying.
Yep, and the timer hits 0 for qualifying, so Kyle Knapp did not put out a time. He's going to start 11th. We got, well, here's our championship standings. Here's the championship standings heading into Richmond. As we mentioned, Matthew Robinson with a 25-point lead over Sebastian Taylor. He missed last week, and Matthew Robinson capitalized on it with a win. Third is Johnny Collier, 44 points back, and then it's tight here, 44 points. Anyway, from third through about 7th, maybe actually 8th, 3rd through 8th, they're separated by 12 points. Yeah. So Johnny Collier sitting 3rd in points, and it's just look at how close they are. You have a tie for 4th, and then you got a tie for 8th.
Yeah, and I think another important thing to take a look at when you look at Matthew Robinson, how about 5 starts and 5 top 5s in every single race? That's been a pretty impressive feat for that number 40 car with the 25-point lead on Sebastian Taylor. Taylor, who did take the provisional last week, so he did get a few points for missing. So that's going to sit him second in the spot, in the standings, I should say. As you got to remember, top 12 will be making the playoffs with the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. Tonight's race 6, so we actually start the final 5 stretch, of the regular season before the playoff cutoffs starts. So we're actually gonna go ahead and take a look at the race around the top 12 spots when we go and look through 11th through 20th. You got Ryan Twynham, who's sitting 11th right now. Jeremy Rigney is the final driver right now in the playoffs in that 12th spot.
That is true, but on the outside looking in, it's Jacob York. He's only 4 points out, but he's made every single start this year. Behind him is Justin Reeves, William Lancia, and Justin Lemke. But honestly, the only driver who I believe could make it from the outside in is that number 25 of Jacob York.
Yeah, I think another driver I want to take a look at is Justin Lemke in the 35 car. He's 16th in points right now. Obviously he's not here tonight, but I'd keep an eye on him. William Lancia is another one of those guys, 15th in points, who's also not here tonight. So a lot of provisionals probably going to get used up here tonight. We'll have to see where the points shake out after this week. But, overall, a pretty tight battle throughout the entire field, except for that top spot of Matthew Robinson.
Yeah, Matthew Robinson looking like he's going to could dominate tonight. You never know. Sebastian Taylor second. Third is Jeremy Rigney. Fourth, Jacob York. Rounding out the top 5 is that number 1 of James Shanewolf.
Yeah, Cliff Mullins in 6th after qualifying results. 7th, Jeremy Knapp. 8th, Austin Miller. 9th, Johnny Collier. And then 10th is Rick Ward. So that's going to be the 10 guys who are slotted to race tonight in our 2 heat races. Want to take a look back at last week's race we had at Homestead, which was a very unique one at the 1.5 mile track. And we had a lot of fun calling it, and we'd love to show you guys the highlights from last week.
There goes a sharp left turn. And green flags flying. We are green for the Miller Racing Graphics Heat Race number 1.
Those guys up front, that first 4 really got a great start when you look at the back 3 guys compared to, how big of a gap they were able to build. Robinson takes a commanding lead out front. You got the 82 of Lancia trying to hold off Rigney. That's the battle for second as they exit turn 2. Single file through the first 4 spots.
Yeah, the front 4 really did get a good jump in, especially when you're the leader, because you're the control car. As soon as that pace car gets down pit road, it's up to you. You're the control car. You can go anytime you feel like it. And the 40 of Robinson went. And the 82, whoa, we got 3 cars spinning. Whoa. Lancia almost hit the tires going into pit road.
Coming through turns 3 and 4 for Miller Racing Graphics Heat Race number 1. Matthew Robinson is going to take the victory. Dogtopia Heat Race number 2 is underway. Green flag is out. Jeremy Knapp is on the gas pedal.
It'll be interesting to see these guys go through turn 3 and 4. Kind of like how it happened in the first race. Half the field seemed to slide sideways out, but then the rest of the laps they were pretty solid.
Wow, we got some tight racing. Look at that, 3 wide out of turn number 2. The 56 looking for the lead, and the 31 of Ryan Twynham's just going to go around both of them on the top side.
Twynham taking full advantage of it. Looked like Dawson Miller was going to have the lead for a moment. Right now he's underneath the Knapp for second, sorry. So he's running third. Oh, and there's the 20 of Knapp sideways, and he's spinning out near pit road. He's going to keep it off the wall, but he's going to fall back a ton. Looks like the 56 is going to take care of his stuff, where the 31 slides up a little bit. Here comes the 56 of Miller through turn 3 and 4 for the final time in the heat. He's going to get a run off the corner. He's going to peek down to the bottom. They're side by side. It's not going to be enough. And the 31 of Ryan Twynham is going to win the second heat presented by Dogtopia.
60 laps for the Country Road Sports Card 60 here tonight. Pace car is in. Matthew Robinson leading the field of 14 down. Green flag is out, and we are racing here in Miami.
Boy, that 40 car got a great jump on the start. Although behind Dawson Miller, seems like they're struggling to get going. And the gap's now about 1 second between the 56 and the 25. It's less than a second. The 25 is sideways. He's spinning out on the racetrack. In turn number 4, he nearly gets sideswiped, and the caution flag is going to fly.
5 laps to go. Pace car is in. Matthew Robinson on the gas pedal. Green flag is out. We're going to get down to business here in Miami.
The race for second is heating up as they're going through turn 3 and 4 for the final time. Matthew Robinson in the Dogtopia number 40 is going to come off of turn 4. He's going to continue to dominate the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series and win at Homestead, Miami. Well, that turned out to be quite the race. Had a little bit of drama at the beginning, middle, and then at the end it got really, really good. But Matthew Robinson came out on top on a battered field from Homestead.
Yeah, it was really interesting one down in South Florida with the track temp being high and, a lot of different strategies coming into play. We weren't quite sure if the 56 could make it to the end or the 25. They had the pit strategy. Then the caution comes out late. The 40 gets back up front. And then after that, it was smooth sailing for him. But overall, he was definitely the fastest car. And he did his part last week in making sure he went to victory lane. But it certainly was exciting from the beginning to the end, like you said. And, being in South Florida, we had to deal with the high track temp. Well, here in Virginia tonight, the track temp is still decently high, especially when you compare it to what we had last week at Homestead. Looking at about 109 degrees Fahrenheit for the track temp, air temp at 78, with relative humidity at 56%. So I think that humidity's been 56% almost every single week.
You know what also has stayed the same every single week? The winds from the north at a solid 2 miles an hour everywhere we go.
Well, at least these drivers have consistent wind, I guess. But other than that, the track temp is all over the place. So,
yeah, you mentioned high track temp. That's going to provide for some hot slick racing on these tires and these cars. Going to be sliding through the corners a little bit. We're 7 minutes outside of the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series from Richmond, the America's Auto Auction 100.
Yeah, we could probably get a chance to talk to one of these drivers that are in the field. Let's try to get a word in with who do you think, Hunter? Who should we try to get a word in with?
We should dial up Jeremy Ringney in the 84.
Uh, okay, found him. Let me drag him up real quick. Hey, Jeremy Rigney, it's Hunter and Jacob Bell in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey guys, I'm here. How's it going?
Going good, man. Decent qualifying run. You're going to be rolling off second in the first heat, or actually, I think third in the first heat because I think we're only going to have one heat tonight. What are you looking for from the track tonight, and what's your approach to this heat race?
Well, I learned my lesson last time that you got to be careful on that first lap. But I know those guys are going to be coming hard, and it's only qualifying race, and I got to worry about the big picture.
Yeah, you look good. You came on, I think, week 2 of the season. You started racing with the late model series, and you've gotten a lot better each and every week. And I'm sure a lot of people have been practicing, putting their time in. What has been something that you contribute to your strong runs as of late?
You know, I would second that. I've been doing a lot of practicing lately. I don't know what it is, but these cars, being a little slower and running with, I suspect, guys half my age, I'm a little more competitive here. On the short tracks as well, just with my braking and reaction time. So I'm going to give them hell tonight and see where it goes.
Man, good luck tonight. Appreciate you showing up, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of the night with a victory.
All right, buddy.
That was the 84 of Jeremy Rigney, looking for a strong run tonight. Said he's been practicing and he's feeling competitive out there at the short track.
I have a feeling he'll be the one to watch for tonight. We know that Matthew Robinson and Sebastian Taylor are going to be quick, but got to keep an eye out for that 84 of Jeremy Ringney. Feel like he could surprise some people tonight. We are less than 5 minutes from green flag for our first heat. First and only heat, I should say.
I think it's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to the heat. With only having, I think this is the first time all season we've only had one heat race, right?
Yeah, every other week we've had 2 because we've had more than 12 competitors. Every heat it's been 6 or 7 drivers, sometimes 8. But tonight it's only 11, so or is it 10?
Tonight's 10. The 11th guy is Kyle Knapp. He's actually the head admin for tonight.
Okay. All right. So only 10 drivers tonight. So everyone gets a top 10.
Yeah. So that'll help for the points for these guys, maybe. But let's see how it shakes out next week. I think hopefully next week we'll get a few more drivers coming back. A lot of guys really. Oh, actually, I keep saying next week, Hunter. We're off for 2 weeks after tonight. We won't be back until race 7 at Stafford, which is not going to be for a little bit. Actually, race 7 at Stafford is going to be on June 13th. So next week we are off for Memorial Day, and then the following week we're off for week 13. So these guys are going to get a 2-week off break, I guess. I don't know how else to say it. They're going to have 2 weeks to kind of reset, think about their season. They're going to have 6 races down, and then come back at Stafford on June 13th. So a good chance for a lot of these guys to reset.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier in the broadcast we're halfway through the regular season schedule. We're in the last 5, which is Richmond tonight, Stafford, you mentioned in 2 weeks, then North Wilkesboro, New Smyrna, and New Hampshire is the last race for the regular season. And then we have a 5-race chase that starts at South Boston, goes down south to Myrtle Beach, up north to the Milwaukee Mile, down to 5 Flags, and for our championship race, it's at USA Raceway under the lights.
Yeah, looking forward to that championship race, obviously for a lot of reasons. First off, we're going to get to crown our first ever champion in the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series, and second off, we're going to get to go to the to a track for the second time. That hasn't happened at all this season. Every single week, these guys have been going to a different track. Well, for the first time, I think in extreme history, that's not really a common theme that they do in any of the series. These guys will be attending the same track in the same season. So it's going to be an interesting race. Of course, that's going to be the Country Road Sports Cars Championship 100 down at USA. So that's going to be something to look forward to. But like you said, starting the second half of the regular season tonight. So we got a long way to go until we get to there.
Yeah, we went to USA for the season opener. It's going to be interesting to see the changes that have taken place in the series since then when we get back to USA for the championship, just to see how everyone's progressed and see if anyone remembers any notes or homework that they did.
Well, Hunter, got some good news. It looks like, I might be wrong, but it looks like Ryan Swan's actually joining us up here in the booth as our third guy, third set of eyeballs. Well, actually, our fourth set of eyeballs if you count Harold as well to watch all the action here tonight. Ryan, how you doing, man?
What's up, guys? It's nice to join you guys for the second week in a row. It looks like we got about 10 cars out here for Richmond, so it should be an interesting one. We got our Sebastian Taylor back, so we got two heavy hitters starting. Looks like on the front row this heat race.
Sure do. 1 minute out of the heat race start. Matthew Robinson going to lead the way with Sebastian Taylor alongside of him. But want to ask you, Ryan, really quick. Do you have is there a driver that stands out to you for tonight?
You know what? I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna go off of the front row. I'm gonna say Shane Wolf once again. He had a rough week last week. I've raced him here a couple times. I think he's pretty good here. Maybe he just has to get used to the slate model, but I think he'll come up towards the top of the leaderboard. So we'll have to see if anybody can shake that 40.
Hey Ryan, actually, one thing I wanted to talk to you about is we had been in the talks with a few people, like GT Hawkins and Ed Morris, some of the admin team in Extreme Motorsports, and they've been, talking about the idea of an all-star race on June 6th, where the winners, so far this season are going to be locked in. So you could potentially be running in an all-star race here on a Sunday night, June 6th, in a few weeks in the Next Gen Cup cars. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that sounds exciting. I haven't heard too much about it other than what you just said, but an all-star race, that'd be pretty wild if we can get all 5 series or 4 series, however we want to do it, and kind of throw our hat into it. Since I won Daytona, I guess I'm locked in. That'd be pretty sick. I don't know what track it would be, but them next-gen cars are a different beast from what I've run on a normal occasion, so we'll have to find out when we get some more details.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Of course, we're going to have some more details coming up later. But more importantly, right now, we got the starting grid presented by Country Road Sports Cards here for our first heat race of the night, the Miller Racing Graphics heat race number 1. Of course, on pole, Matthew Robinson. Starting on his outside in second, the 27 of Sebastian Taylor.
Row number 2, it's going to consist of Jeremy Ringney in the 84, and alongside him, it's Jacob York in the 25.
James Shane Wolf's going to start 5th in that number 1 car. Ryan's pick starting in row number 3 on the inside there. Starting 6th, Cliff Mullins in the number 37. I'll be keeping an eye on him. He's one of those guys who keeps getting closer and closer to the front every week.
Row number 4, it's the fan favorite Jeremy Knapp in the 20, and alongside him, it's Dawson Miller in the 56, looking to continue his impressive run throughout the year.
And then rounding out our field here tonight, Johnny Collier in the number 33. Of course, linked up with JW Racing. Got a cool looking paint scheme on for Memorial Day on that 33. And rounding out the field, the 34 of Rick Ward. So that's going to be our starting lineup here for our 6-lap heat. Of course, it's going to be pretty quick tonight with the pre-race, with the pre-feature events. Of course, only 1 heat. And we're about to get that underway here shortly.
Interesting to see this 6-lap heat because I think a couple of times throughout the year we've gotten to a point where late in the race there's a late race yellow. I believe it was I know it happened last week at Homestead, and I believe it was Southern National. Yeah, I believe it was Southern National, where we've had basically 6-lap heats to the finish. So this heat could be a little bit of what could come at the end of tonight's race.
That's a good point. That's a good way of thinking about it because, we tend to see those long green flag runs right in the middle, and we get to the point where fuel strategy starts coming into play, and then all of a sudden, like you said, a caution would tend to sets up with a 5-lap or 6-lap shootout. So, could be a little bit of an idea of what to expect here tonight for the finish. As you see, Matthew Robinson leading the field behind the pace car here as they're getting set to get underway for heat race number 1, presented by Miller Racing Graphics. Of course, Miller Racing Graphics is your number 1 source for iRacing graphics, logos, and more. Get 50% off your first paint scheme at facebook.com/Miller Sim Graphics. Also want to give a special shout out to Dogtopia, who is our regular sponsor for heat race number 2, but of course we're only packed into one heat race here tonight. The healthy dogs are happy dogs at Dogtopia of Fredericksburg, Virginia, which we're in Virginia tonight, so it's a pretty good fit for them. Fun-filled days with your pups are best furry friends forever. Dogtopia offers daycare and boarding spa treatments, and enroll your furry friends today at dogtopia.com. Big shout out to them, and big shout out to Miller Racing Graphics for sponsoring our heat races.
Should mention there's Dogtopia on the rear of the 40. It's a different paint scheme for him this week, with it being Memorial Day coming up, but you would typically see Dogtopia on the hood of that number 40 car.
Got the Prisoners of War and Missing in Actions on the hood of that car tonight. Of course, like I said, Memorial Day the next weekend, so they wanted to give a special shout out to all those who have served and continue serving overseas. Pace car is in. The 40 of Matthew Robinson and the 27 of Sebastian Taylor lead him down. Miller Racing Graphics heat race number 1 is green.
Looked like Sebastian Taylor almost jumped it at the start, but that 40 car, Matthew Robinson, getting it dialed in early, taking the lead. There we go, down the backstretch in the turn 3 and 4 for the first time. Right now, everyone's just
early on.
They're just laid under a blanket right now.
At 25 of York up to 3rd. 56 of Dawson Miller up to 7th. He's actually battling side by side right now with Jeremy Knapp, as they're really close off of turn 2 there, almost door to door there as they exit turn 2 towards the back of the field. Knapp's going to take over that 7th spot. Up front, though, it's Matthew Robinson trying to fend off Sebastian Taylor as they hit 4 to go.
Yeah, everyone was under a blanket, and the 25 of York just smacked the wall coming out of 2, so now the top 2 are kind of pulling away. As you see, Sebastian Taylor, 25.863, fastest lap of the race. He is hawking the bumper of the number 40 of Matthew Robinson to head in the 3 and 4 with just 4 laps to go.
Yeah, he started closing in the gap slowly but surely on the 40. Don't think he can get much closer to the back bumper without actually hitting it, which, I mean, you never know what it could come down to here in a 6-lap heat race. Not a lot on the line, though, just trying to figure out the starting positions for tonight 100-lap feature event, which follows this short little heat race here. But single file all throughout the field. So far, it's been a pretty clean heat, which I'm impressed with, especially considering 10 cars. I think it's probably our biggest heat race of the year. So looking good, and Sebastian Taylor just to get by the number 40 and Matthew Robinson. 2 laps to go.
Interesting to see the 40 of Robinson enter high in 3 and 4.
Yeah, I think he's trying to build up as much momentum as he can down the straightaways by, like you said, entering a little bit higher, exiting a little bit lower. That time, Taylor actually gets a pretty good exit off the corner. York exits a little high back there in 3rd. White flag is out. 1 to go here.
See, there's a 27 pulling high in the middle of 1 and 2, going to cut back low. Don't think the run's going to be enough as they head down the backstretch for the final time. That 40 of Matthew Robinson looked like he's going to come off of turn number 4, and he's going to win the only heat race of the night, presented by Miller Racing Graphics. It's Matthew Robinson going to stay on the front row.
The entire field actually stayed in the exact same position they started, with the exception of Jacob York in 3rd and Jeremy Rigney in 4th. Those 2 swapped positions. Other than that, everybody finished exactly where they started, so Robinson taking home the victory. Sebastian Taylor 2nd, Jacob York 3rd, Jeremy Rigney 4th, and James Shanewood rounding out the top 5 for Miller Racing Graphics heat race number 1. This also can serve as our starting lineup, essentially, when we get set to look how they're going to shake out here for 100 laps.
Yep, here's our starting grid once more, presented by Country Road Sports Cards. It's Matthew Robinson on the front row, with Sebastian Taylor alongside him in 2nd.
And starting 3rd is going to be the 25 of Jacob York. Outside of him, starting 4th, the 84 of Jeremy Rigney.
Row number 3, it's going to be James Shinwell for the number 1, and alongside him is the 37 of Cliff Mullins.
Jeremy Knapp and Dawson Miller are going to complete row number 4.
And then last but not least, row number 5, going to consist of Johnny Collier in the 33, and in the 34, Rick Ward Sr.
I had to put the question down there in the chat, who's your pick to win tonight? So we'll go ahead and give our picks. I think you were right last week, Ryan, so that means you get to go last. I'm pretty sure that's how we're gonna make the order go. So I'll go ahead and pick the number 27 of Sebastian Taylor. Give me my pick to win here tonight.
There's a little feeling that the number 84 of Jeremy Rigney is going to pull one out.
Hey, Harold, who you got tonight?
You know, I'm going to keep going back to York. He's got to break this bad luck streak he's been having this season.
Okay, so we got Sebastian Taylor, we got a Jeremy Rigney, we got a Jacob York. So you're going to leave the number 40 to Ryan. Who are you taking on? You going off the wall?
Cards are y'all just let the cards fall down to me. The most consistent driver, the fastest driver every week, just so happens to fall to me again. Of course, I'm taking the 40.
And there we go. We got our 4 picks in from the broadcast booth. 1 to go. We're going to get to green flag next time when they cross the start-finish line. Get your guys' picks down below in the chat of who you think is going to win tonight in the 100-lap feature event, the America's Auto Auction 100 live here from Richmond. Forgot where we were.
Well, we've already got one in the chat for Jacob York. It seems like Harold's got a Harold and Hendry Dirt. Sorry if I butchered your name, but it looks like you
That's
two have
Randy.
got a
That's
similar
Randy, not
mindset.
That's my good buddy Randy from down in South Florida, who helps out at our dirt track a lot. So he's going Jacob York. Let's see who ends up being correct. Pace car is in. Matthew Robinson on the gas pedal. Green flag is out for the America's Auto Auction 100.
There we go into turn 1. Jacob York with a low entry and a dive bomb. Going to go underneath the 27 of Sebastian Taylor. He's going to take home second. He hits the wall coming out of 2. Everything keeps, everyone's still straight. Al for second is heating up already on lap number 1. Taylor down low, York up high. They're door to door all over the place, but the 40 of Matthew Robinson is checking out early. Here we are on the Rick's Hot Sauce on board.
Absolutely no time. Sorry, I was just, Jacob York wasted absolutely no time getting down there in turn 1. He stuck his nose under that 27, made the move, made it stick until he got to the exit of turn 2, slapped the wall a little bit. Now they're side by side once again for second. York up top, Sebastian Taylor down low. And don't look now, here comes the 37 of Cliff Mullins to come fill the gap.
I think a big thing for Mr. York this week, you need to take your time. You know, last week kind of got in the wall and stack them all up. And, man, I think you just need to take your time, get you a good finish here, turn your season around.
We got
right
a black
now,
flag here. A black flag to the number 37 of Cliff Mullins. I'm going to try to get a quick look here to see what happened. But, yeah, it's going to be a lane change violation on the start. He started 6th. Came down to the bottom before they could reach the start-finish line. So he's serving his drive-through penalty right now. And you think he's going to end up losing a lap here as he's just now getting towards the exit of pit road. It's a really tough break there for Cliff Mullins, who was looking good early on.
Well, at least it happened early on and that he can shake it off. And if we get a couple yellows here, he can put him in another good situation. So there he is merging back onto the racetrack. And there's the 40.
Oh, we got a wreck in turn 2. Sebastian Taylor's around in the 27 car. Caution, though, for that. Got some damage on that machine as well there. I think there was some contact with the 56 in some form. We got a replay here. They went 3 wide with the 25 of Jacob York and the 1 of James Shanewell. Contact there between those 3. And then nowhere to go for the 84 or the 56. So really about 5 or 6 cars collected in that stack up, with Sebastian Taylor getting the worst of it.
The 84 of Ringney assisted the 27 of Sebastian Taylor around. But the 1 of Shane Wolf comes out with second. Going to be interesting to see, because there's still no caution. I don't know if they're going to put out an EOL or not.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We'll have to see if the admins deem somebody at fault there. I mean, of course, 3 wide race hits help anywhere you go, but at a track like Richmond, where there's not a lot of room, I mean, it's really, really tough to make it stick there. But that's not necessarily what caused the, I don't know. I mean, obviously there was contact when they were 3 wide.
Yeah.
Taylor got loose, and then nowhere for Wrigley to go.
Yeah,
looks
the
like
one
that Sebastian Taylor has registered out, so end his day on an early note.
Yeah, Sebastian Taylor brought it down to pit road, and he is climbing out of the race car. He is done for tonight in that 27. So a really, really tough break to see it come to an end so early on after a strong qualifying run. And damn, I think that was my pick too.
I was just about to say, I think you picked him. And he missed last week at Homestead, so it looked for him to have a bounce back night tonight, kind of like Shane Wolf, where he took the first where he took the second and third week off, comes back at Bristol and leads every single lap.
Yeah, that's a tough break there for the 27. And a tough break for a lot of those other guys who were just kind of innocent bystanders, like you mentioned, the 84. Nowhere for him to go. The 56 got to the back bumper of him. I mean, a lot of those guys got unnecessary incident points, which is another thing to consider when you're looking at the points. And just going to hurt their night is we got a battle for second. The 25 just stepping in there on the one of James Shanewolf. I mean, those two have been going back and forth since the drop of the green flag.
I think York is too happy that he gave up second to Shane Wolf. He gets into him a little bit, going in the corner. He's all over his bumper.
Yeah,
Beating and banging on lap 11 at Richmond. Meanwhile, behind them, the battle for fourth heats up with Ringney going low on Miller. Looks like he's going to take that spot away unless the 56 gets a run off the corner. Well, they're still staying door to door to 56 and Miller not giving up just yet. Well, looks like he's going to settle in behind the 84.
I was going to mention, you see a little bit of slight damage on the rear end of the 84. That's actually from the 56. When we got in that stack up, you actually see some damage on the back end of on the front end of the 84 as well. So he's got some damage he wants to come down and fix, I'm sure, when they get time for a caution here in that 84 machine. But he's still making it work. He's running into fourth. The battle for second just won't go away. Jacob York is just not letting Shane Wolf get away from him at all. He's trying to stay as close to him as he can.
A good camera to ride on. The Rick's Hot Sauce front bumper cam of Jacob York. We've already seen him get into the back of Shane Wolf a couple of times already.
Yeah, these two are not afraid to go after each other, I guess. Like you said, drop the green flag, man. It has just been back and forth. Here he goes.
Here he comes.
To the inside. Just not quite able to get his nose underneath.
If he sends it any further, he's going to wind up taking out the one.
This right here is a good sponsorship promo for that sponsor on the back end of the one car.
That
bumper cam we got.
It'd rather be a good promo for the left rear tire of James Shanewolf if Jacob York keeps sending it down in there like that.
I'll tell you what, though, both of these guys need a really big bounce back from last week. I know Shane Wolf wrecked on lap 1, so glad it's been a little bit better race for these two. So, he just got in the wall as I said that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point though. Shane Wolf, you remember, wrecked on lap 1 last week at Homestead, and then you had Jacob York who, got deemed at fault for 2 caution flags, so he had a big points penalty at the end of the night. Not really a great night for either of them, especially with York sitting 13th in points right now. He's on the outside of the playoffs looking to break it in. I mean, he's going to need a solid run. He doesn't need to be too flashy. He just needs to run all the laps, finish consistently, and I'm sure he'll find his way into the top 12.
James Shanewolf is also trying to catch up because he missed a race earlier this year too. He's trying to catch up to the 40 of Matthew Robinson.
Yeah, Shane Wolf right now is sitting fifth, he's actually tied for fourth in the standings with Jerry Glenn, who's also not here tonight, so he'll probably take sole possession of the fourth spot. Biggest mover from last weekend points that we didn't really get a chance to talk about is Johnny Collier in that 33. He is all the way up to third in the standings. I mean, he's been running with JW Racing recently, so that means his teammate is the 40 of Matthew Robinson. I mean, he just consistently has improved each and every week. Of course, probably not the night he's looking for so far. He's running 8th right now, but that 33 car, teammates with the 40, they're both doing the tribute for Memorial Day tonight. So big shout out to Johnny Collier down there in the 33.
Yeah, he's really picked it up. But tonight, it seems like an off night for him. Still early on, though. We're about to complete lap 19, about a fifth of the way through tonight's America Auto Auction 100.
And so far, we've kept it green the whole way, which is kind of shocking considering it's such a exciting track when you go to Richmond. A lot of close racing. I mean, we've seen the close racing. We obviously had the incident with Sebastian Killer that did trigger a caution flag and ended his night really early on. So we'll have to see how it shakes out the rest of the way. We've got 80 laps to go here, but it looks like Matthew Robinson, not a lot of people are going to be able to touch him.
With Jacob York earlier in the day talking about a fuel strategy, said that the fuel run could be anywhere from 42 to about 60 laps. It just depends on how many gallons of fuel are in the car.
Yeah, Yeah, tonight they started with 11 gallons of fuel in the car.
11,
So
okay.
they'll be able to get past that halfway mark, I would assume so, pretty easily. They'll get down, anywhere between lap 55 to 60 is probably where I would anticipate pit stops. But then again, on the flip side of things, with them being able to make it to 60 laps, will they try to short pit and come on lap 40 and try to get those fresh tires on earlier? It's kind of going to be a strategy play to see when they decide to come down and put on their final, only additional set of tires, I should say.
I think you see one pit right at the halfway mark of the race.
And try to just split it up as even. Well, if I'm Matthew Robinson, that's what I'm doing. I'm the leader. I don't want to, do something too aggressive or not aggressive enough. I'm just going to split the race right down the middle. I'm pitting on lap 50. But if I'm somebody like Jacob York or James Shanewood, I might try to hold my tires to lap 60. Maybe you catch a caution flag right around lap 60. You can come down, put on tires that are 10 laps fresher than Robinson, and have a chance to do something. So.
And Matthew Robinson's just on cruise control right now.
The battle continues to rage on here between the 1 and the 25.
Yeah. And this front bumper cam, I'll be shocked if we still got one on the front end of Jacob York by the end of this one. He is really been on the back bumper of Shane Wolf trying to run him down, but also I think another thing to consider here, Jacob York's one of the newer guys to iRacing in this series. He's probably learning a lot, running right behind the one James Shane Wolf, really looking at Shane Wolf's line. Shane Wolf has been in the Extreme Motorsports ARCA series for 2 or 3 seasons now. He's got a lot of wins there. He's running the late model series. He's obviously very fast here as well. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if York is picking up a thing or two from watching this one car and watching him as close as he is too.
Speaking of Shane Wolf, we got a big win last Monday night at Indianapolis. I was sitting there watching. So, I mean, he bounced back a little bit from last Sunday, so we'll have to see what he's got this Sunday.
And, I think that's such an interesting point with the style of racing we have. The late model series, Robinson far superior than a lot of these guys it seems. But then you get into the ARCA cars on Monday nights on Max Speed TV, and Shane Wolf is the guy to beat there. So it's just kind of funny to see how different these guys approach, the different styles of racing and just how different the late model car really is from the ARCA car.
Yeah, and normally with the other series in these cars, which it looks like they drive completely different in these cars, it's just real slick and real loose. Even at night, I mean, you got to really pedal the throttle around the corners. But with these cars, they look like they're handling pretty well. I don't see any issue, looseness or anything.
I think, yeah.
25. So Shane Wolf, he's going to turn him around, or he's going to keep it straight.
I don't know why he's staying in the gas.
Oh, now he just spun out. That's going to bring out our first caution. It looked like the one of Shane Wolf kept it straight. Whoa, watch out. He's going backwards, trying to turn the car around. That was a little bit scary, and finally happened. The 25 of York and the one of Shane Wolf collided. We'll have to take a look at this here on our helicopter cam.
Well, we knew
it was coming at some
yeah,
point. Yeah,
exactly. The 25 kept sending in really deep into the corners. He finally hits the left rear of the one, and then kind of stayed in the gas a little bit once the contact was made. Here you see, I mean, Shane Wolf kind of tries to come down, but York is barely underneath and gets a piece of him, drives him into the wall, and then kind of stays in the finishes the job. It looks like. So we'll have to see what the admins deem the fault for that yellow, but really doesn't look good if I'm a fan of the 25 right now.
I'm gonna take a look at this from the in-car cam of the 25.
Definitely think it was a little early for that. Lap 30 of this race, and you're pretty tore up already. It's not good.
It did look like the one of Shane Wolf came down, and then he just kept coming down, which is what kind of sent him around again.
Oh, for sure. We got some pit stops coming, by the way. I just kind of wanted to touch on that. The 40's on pit road, the 25. Actually, the entire field's coming down pit road, so I'm curious to see who decides to put on tires or not. So I want to take a chance to look at this really closely and make sure we're not missing anything. I see the right side's going up on the 40. Looks like left sides are going up on the 25, so I think the 25's taking 2 tires here on the left side. And the 20 of Jeremy Knapp is off of pit road. The 84 is off of pit road. They took no tires, fuel only on those guys, as well as the 56 of Dawson Miller. We had the left sides on the 25 4 tires on the 40. The 33 is off the pit road. He took right sides only. So a lot of different strategies coming off the pit road.
I'm assuming the 25 took lefts and got all of his damage repaired, is what I would have to guess.
Yeah, definitely took lefts only because that was the only side of the car that got jacked up. And then, like you said, I think he's waiting to get his damage repaired. I mean, he's going to have to serve. I'm assuming he'll probably get the DOL here, but kind of wanted to now go back to that wreck and what I wanted to say there with the 25 Hunter. Yeah, yes, the one did come down back into the bottom lane, in front of Jacob York. But the thing is, when you're, an inch under the guy in front of you, and that's it, you just got to back out there. Yeah, I mean, or else you just end up wrecking each other. So it's kind of silly to try to push it so hard. Yes, you are technically underneath the guy, but when it's only an inch or two, you just gotta be smarter than that. You gotta back out and let him get his line. And if you really, really want to pass him, you gotta build up a run off the corner and get at least to the guy's door.
I tell you what now though, these guys, I think they get one set of tires in the pits. They cannot make it still. If I remember correctly, you guys said about 45 laps, 50 laps, somewhere in there.
Well, 60. Yeah, I think they can get all the way up to 60 laps. This caution is going to help a little bit, but yeah, I think you're going to be close still on fuel. That's for sure. It's not going to be a smooth run to the finish. Of course, another caution or two, I think they'll be fine. But if this thing ends up going green to the end, we'll probably have a lot of these guys about 5 or 10 laps short.
That caution also saved though Cliff Mullins. He actually held off the leader that entire time while he got that penalty. So glad to see he's still on the lead lap.
How about this? Admin words just came in from Kyle Knapp, our head admin tonight. Racing deal between the 25 and the 1. No EOL penalty.
I was gonna say at the same time while York, it looked like he sent it in the corner. That one of Shane Wolf was coming down as well.
Absolutely.
Just trying to get clear in front of the 25.
He absolutely came down. It's just if you're in the position, I mean, you could say the same for James Shane Wolf as well. If it's that close, just back out of it. Save your car. What are you trying to race so hard for on lap 34 when you got 67 laps to go here? But hey, this is the late model series. We've got a lot of close, hard racing, and I guess that was just another example of that. We get set to restart here. The 20 of Jeremy Knapp on the front row. How about that? The Knapp Attack fans looking at the 20. He's going to lead us to green. Outside of him is going to be the 56 of Dawson Miller. Johnny Collier restarting third.
This will also be the first time we see Matthew Robinson start anywhere outside of first.
Green flag is out. Jeremy Knapp does a really good job on the restart, getting a nice jump out front. He clears the way. He's the leader. Dawson Miller now in the back bumper in second, and Matthew Robinson going to make the outside lane work off of turn 2 there, and he'll pull ahead and take over the third spot.
Yeah, Collier backed off a ton going into turn 3, but one driver who isn't backing off is that 56 of Dawson Miller. He's trying to poke his nose out, go underneath the 20 here, going into turn 1 for the lead. He's got a nose in there. He sends it in the corner, right on board with Miller, but we should be looking alongside turn 3. He's got the lead, and Robinson is chasing down the top 2.
I wanted to bring up a point. There was some hard racing between the 56 and the 20 in the heat race. So much to the point that after the race, I saw a little bit of contact between the 56 and the 20. Those two didn't seem like they were really, really happy with each other. So I was curious to see how that battle for the lead was going to go there. Miller kind of gets underneath him, takes the spot away. Now Robinson's up to second, and he's got 4 tires on that number 40 car, so I'll be interested to see what he does here with the 56 off of turn 4.
Quite simply, he's just going to go low, and the 56 trying to cut down, doesn't want to spin himself out. He's just going to give the bottom to the 40 of Robinson.
Tries to pinch as much as he can. Not going to work when you got 4 fresh tires on that 40. He'll take the top spot away. Now the battle for second heats back up. The 20 and the 56 throwing haymakers at each other. The 20 takes the top spot. Miller gets into the left rear of them, man. These guys are going after each other.
Oh, that 20 of Knapp is cutting all over the place in front of the 56. Don't know if Miller's going to retaliate in any way just yet, but keep your eyes on this battle. Yeah, they're 3 wide in the back, too. Oh, here comes the 56. He's going to try and enter low. Looks like he's going to try and use the front bumper if he could.
Tight racing in the back, like Ryan was trying to point out there. You got Johnny Collier, Cliff Mullins, Jacob York, and James Shane Wolf How about those two going after each other down at the turn 1? Tight racing between the 1 and the 25. Might be some bad blood going on there, too. We got rivalries forming all over the place. I would keep our eyes linked right here on this battle between the 25 and the 1. I heard some radio chatter after the incident. Those two not happy with each other. I don't think they're going to play nice here.
Oh, they're going to split the 33.
3 wide.
Oh, Collier better get out of there.
Collier slides up the track. 25 with a good crossover move back down to the bottom of the 33 now. He's going to get in line.
Oh, he's going to hit the 33.
I tried to tell him.
Oh, he's not cutting the 33 and he's slack either. Jacob York making so many friends on the racetrack right now.
He's trying to hunt down the 1. Looks like that battle's kind of settled out now, for the moment at least. Now Dawson Miller's got to fend off a lot of these guys. The 37 of Cliff Mullins under attack for 4th spot. He's going to be side by side off the turn 4. The 37 looks like he's going to be walking away with the 4th position there. These guys are racing close tonight.
Boy, I don't know if a flip switched or not, but everyone's just racing super aggressive now.
Well, that's the effect of the different strategies. You got to remember, a lot of these guys, some guys are on no tires, some guys are on left side, some guys are on right, some guys are on 4 tires. That kind of mixes up everything tonight. You know, I mentioned the 25 of Jacob York. When he pitted, he put on left side tires only, so he's going to have a set of rights at the end of the race. I'd keep an eye on that. The 56 who restarted restarted second. I want to go back. I'm going to try to see if he took 2 tires or no tires on his pit stop.
Say, just missed the battle between second. The 84 of Rainey moves up, and now Knapp's under fire from Mullins. You come down the front stretch.
Tell you what, boys.
Left side's only on the 56, by the way.
You guys better watch out for that 37. A minute ago, he was almost a lap down. Now he's up to 3rd.
Boy, the 56 is getting all over the place. He just moved the 20 of Knapp out of the way.
Of course, those two haven't been friendly. I didn't anticipate anything more. Now, Jeremy Knapp falling backwards quickly here. Remember, he took no tires on his pit stop, so he's kind of at a disadvantage here. The 1 gets by, the 25 gets by. Knapp's back to 7th now as Jacob York and James Chamberlain trying to cut their way through the field. There's a lot of action going on all over the place, except for one spot, Connor.
It's the leader.
Oh, yeah. He's gone.
He is checked out once again. Man, oh man, it's over 3.5 seconds. Well, just about 3.5 seconds right now.
Y'all boys really let him get to me when we made our pre-race picks. Come on, man.
Hey, I'm not signing the checks yet. You got these guys saving sets of tires for the end of the race. If there's a caution with 10 to go and these guys come down and put on their right side tires and Robinson's out there on old tires, we might have a race on our hands. So I'm anticipating that.
Well, not even if this thing goes green to the end. Talked to York earlier. If it's 11 gallons, which it is, then they said the fuel run would be 60 laps. They pitted well. They pitted well before the 60 lap window where they can make it. So I think at about 10 laps to go, you could see, maybe earlier, you could see guys coming in just to top off with the fuel if this thing goes green to the end.
I'm going to just go ahead and say it. I think this 1 and 25 aren't done with each other.
Oh, no.
I think you might be right. And then, right, how about on the outside of them, you got the 56 and the 20 who also have been throwing haymakers back and forth.
Yeah,
so that makes it even better.
You got 2 rivalries merged into one.
It's like a tag team matchup right now. The 56 and the 25 versus the 1 and the 20.
Yeah, I didn't know we were watching the Richmond Royal Rumble.
Well, it seems to have died down for now.
Well, of course, these guys are like I don't know.
Of course.
25 get down to the turn 1. I start second guessing if this
Yeah, of course. That makes me second guessing.
Hey, boys, y'all better watch that 37 fixing to go to second. He's coming. He's coming.
Oh, he's all over the bumper of the 84 of Rigney's. They come off of 4. We got too many battles to look at.
This is by far the best he's looked all season.
I hate to do it now, but we want to get to it at least some point of the night. We just crossed the halfway point of tonight's race. We really want to take a look at our full field rundown. Brought to you by America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan. You got the leader, Matthew Robinson, with the Memorial Day scheme on. He has been dominant so far. He stretched it out to a 4-second lead, trying to run away from these guys.
In place right now is Jeremy Rigney for the time being. He's had quite an up and down day. He started up front but fell back got up front thanks to the caution.
Oh, we
and
got a
right
wreck
now
on the
he's-
backstretch. It's a big one. The 25
Oh.
is in it.
Jacob York, looks like Andrew Knapp. Andrew Knapp, I keep saying Andrew Knapp. It's Jeremy Knapp. Andrew Knapp is the catcher for the Phillies, and I'm a Phillies fan, so that's why I keep thinking Andrew Knapp. Anyway, let's take a look here.
Hey, this was another deal here.
The one
You're,
gets loose, and the 25 right underneath him. They make contact coming out of the court, just slight contact, and it looks like he was just fed up with them.
The 20 gets the worst end of it all. Jeremy Knapp, who's just an innocent bystander, trying to mind his business, watching those two throw haymakers back and forth, and then he's collected and he hits the wall on the inside a ton. So that number 20 of Jeremy Knapp, I think that's going to bring an end to his night. Oh man, that's a tough deal again. 25 in the one, second caution of the night, and they've been involved in both of them. And they're on pit road, by the way, right now. And you got to remember, these guys have. I know the 25 has a set of right side tires, and see if the one puts on tires as well. But they got a lot of damage to deal with.
54 though. This is a lot better than where they were. Not exactly sure. I mean, I know they have damage, but I'm not exactly sure why everybody wouldn't have pitted there. They should be good on field now.
I think pit road might have been closed there, and the 25 and the 1 are just pitting for damage.
The light, well, I mean, the light's
got the green
now.
light on.
Well, it's on now, is what I'm saying. I think it might have been closed there, and then came down because of damage. But I guess we'll find out for sure when we see the field head through turn 4 here. If we get any takers.
Oh, wow.
No takers. I mean, it's still a little early, though, too. With 54, I mean, you really wouldn't have that much of an advantage, whereas if you waited until about 10 or so. So 25's off the pit road. He got some damage repaired there. The 1 is leaving his box now, so Shane Wolf and
I'm looking through the chat, Jake. Your friend Randy, he just put, it looks like I might be the only friend Jacob York has after tonight.
yeah, and they admins just made the call. The 25 of Jacob York, they deemed to need to cause that caution, so he will receive his first DOL tonight. He's back on pit road.
Romo, I feel like I called that one.
Yeah. Well, I think we all knew it was coming. That was the first thing. That's the first thing we said after both cautions. Well, was we saw that one coming, and it was the 25 and the 1 on both occasions. This time the 25 gets the penalty there. We did have somebody come
Interesting,
down
yeah. It's the 56 of Dawson Miller and the 1 of Shane Wolf once again, just to top off on fuel and fix anything else that might be wrong with that one car. But interesting to see the 56 of Dawson Miller come in.
Well,
He's got a set of right side tires. I want to see if he puts them on here or not. Like I said, I would probably try to hold them until the end of the race and hope you get a caution towards the 10 to go mark. But it looks like the right side's up. He'll be getting his last 2 tires put on that 56 machine.
You better watch them pit boxes. I get in trouble for that kind of stuff. Well, yeah, like I hate to talk about people, but that's really been the sum of Jacob York's season. You know, I wish everybody to run well. He just, you know, you got to be patient in those situations. I know you're upset with the one car, but I think you'd be better off and make you feel better if you beat him on the racetrack and not beat the doors off.
You bring a great point, Ryan. He's shown top 5 speed. He's shown top 5 speed week in, week out. It's just the little things that get him right at the very beginning or the middle of the races. And he's still in the race right now, but obviously with a more beat up car. If he just had maybe a little bit more patience in the beginning, then you could be seeing him more in the top 5.
That's a great point. How about this? How about this for the 25? He has started in the top 5 every single race. He has not finished in the top 5 once. Pace car is in. Matthew Robinson leading them down to the green flag with the 84. Jeremy Riggy on the outside. Green flag is out, and we're probably going to have a lane change penalty there.
Oh, yeah.
The 84 came down into the lower lane, if I had to make an assumption, but we'll see what the admins decide to call there. How about Dawson Miller now up to 4th? 25 and the 33 battling for 5th. Looks like 25 is going to grab that position after he was just given the EOL penalty. Up front, though, Matthew Robinson showing the way with the 84 trying to fend off the 37 for 2nd.
So look at Dawson Miller. He came in 4th when he pitted, and right now he's back up to 4th where he was when he made the pit stop. So still got 40 laps left.
I think he's put in a great position here if this thing goes green.
Well, we'll have to see. It really depends on how much those right side tires have worn out, I should say, in those 20 laps for the 40. If they've, decreased by a decent chunk, then the 56 is going to have a clear advantage here. He's going to have to make up the time quickly. As you see now, he's looking underneath the 37. Cliff Mullins for third. Decides better of it, gets back in line. Those two, actually, it's really a 3-car pack, and there goes the 84 around.
4 of
Nice
Ringney.
move.
Oh, he saved it.
And they saved it.
And the
And look
56
who benefits from it. The 56 of Dawson Miller just shot up to second.
Yeah, he gets around both of them. They did a really good job saving it. Get a quick look at the replay here. 37 and 84. Now those two are exchanging some words on the radio, so they're not happy with each other either.
37 just gets in. Whoa, look at the moves from Dawson Miller to cut up on the outside and then just drive on by.
Cut the junkyard dog up to third.
Yeah, how about Dawson Miller though? He's gonna have a 1.5-second lead. He's gonna have to try to cut into here in these last 40 laps of the race. I don't know if he's gonna be able to do it, but he does have those fresher sets of right side tires on the car, so we'll have to see if it plays out to be an advantage or not. Gained a little bit of time that last lap on the 40, so wow, guys. Also, first set of right side tires on the 25, I believe. Well.
Yep. 2 weeks in a row, we've seen this 56 run pretty good towards the end of the races.
Ryan on board Dawson Miller here, the 56. Take a look at the lap times. Well, they about evened out. In fact, York ran the fastest out of those drivers with a 24.102. 40 and 56 are about even. And the 37 put down the faster lap in the top two.
That's a really interesting thing to look at, that the 25 is actually 10.5 quicker right now than the 40. And that's with damage on that race car. As that time, the lap times actually even out. As now Jacob York's looking to take over the second spot.
Ooh.
He'll do so. The 25 now moves up 1. 56 back down to third. Now he's going to have a chance to try to run down the 40 here with 35 laps to go with the strike.
I don't know what his crew chief Blake did to that car, but that thing is rolling at the moment.
Take a look at the lap times again. Yeah, just 40 just a little bit faster than the 25. But still impressive with all that damage on the 25. Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, he's got the speed.
Last lap, he also made the move down in turn 1 on Dawson, so that might have cost him a little bit of time.
Yeah.
This lap will be a really good idea if it's quicker or not. And he's a 0.5 quicker as the 25 now is starting to slowly closing the gap on the 40.
Mentioned earlier, he's got the speed around the top 5. Even with all this damage, he's still putting up a good fight right now.
I think the lap times are going to be key here to see how much he closes each and every lap. It's going to have to be a decent chunk. That time they're pretty much even again. So I think if you do have the fresher tires in this circumstance, you're going to have to use them right away. And with the lap times already kind of evening out, I think it's going to be really, really difficult for either one of these guys to catch that number 40.
But the 40 is good on fuel now, correct?
That's a good point. The 40 is going to be closer on fuel than I think he would like. I'll just put it that way, because he did not pit under that last caution.
He pitted on lap 35, so
He's going to be kind of close.
Sure. We'll have to see here. He's got a pretty decent lead. I'm not sure he can save that much.
Lap times are already playing back into the favor of the 40, so really, really going to be hard for either one of these guys to end up catching up to the 40. But hey, it'll still be a solid night for a lot of these guys. Cliff Mullins in fourth, a great run for that number 37 car. I mean, he's had some strong runs this season, and then something, just kind of out of his hands has came into play. But 2 top 5s already. He's trying to get his third one tonight.
I really like
For a moment, he was trying to go on the outside of the 56.
I really like the look of that 37 car tonight. He got behind on on that last restart, but he looks like he's trying to get back on to 56 and hopefully probably get around to 25 as well.
Still tie racing here between second, third, and fourth.
Yeah, so Matthew Robinson, just wanted to check and confirm. He did only pit on lap 30. Let's see. He pitted on lap 32. So he's got a lot of time. Or sorry, lap 31 actually when he came down pit road. So he's going to have almost 70 laps to make it on fuel. That's going to be pushing.
Ooh, 56 is pushing it to the wall.
And I think it's pushing it a lot. What did you say pre-race? 60 laps?
60 laps on 11
I said
gallons
60,
of fuel.
but I'm not 100% in on that number. Yeah,
This is-
that's it. These guys
this is
do have
info.
left fuel on their car. But here's the thing. Well, I just wanted to say, here's another thing in those caution laps he had. He had the caution, on lap 54 that kind of allowed him to save a little bit of fuel. So it'll be tight. If I had to make an honest prediction right now, I would say he's probably good on fuel, just from looking at the numbers. But I think it's gonna be tight.
Let's see, 25 laps to go next time.
For third, still heating up. 37 to Mullins wants to get around the 56, all over the bumper, coming down the backstretch. He's not giving up.
You guys are talking about the fuel strategy, but if I'm Matthew Robinson, I know my crew chief's got to be telling me I got 2.6 second lead here. So wouldn't I want to back off now if I needed to?
Yeah, I agree with that point as well. He's got a big enough gap where he can kind of afford to lay off a few tenths a lap and probably still stay about even. So that's a good point. I think I'm sure he's probably already thinking of that and doing that. But either way, I think he's going to be tighter than he'd like to be on that fuel window.
For third is still tight. 37 to Mullins, still not yet to get around the 56 of Miller. Probably thinking that front bumper could be coming into use shortly here.
That 56 is giving the 37 a fit, and he's been right on his back bumper the last 15 laps.
Trying to get underneath them there in four. No, it's still the 56 out. He's putting up one hell of a battle.
I believe James Shamroff has pulled it back to pit road. I think he's probably done for the evening.
Yeah, Shane Wolf, he's out of the race car. He's done number one. So another tough night for him. Obviously not what he was looking for coming into Richmond, and he was super, super fast all night long. Just couldn't seem to get away from that 25 car.
Jacob York is about 3 seconds back from our leader, Matthew Robinson. Doesn't look like he's letting off much.
I've been kind of watching the lap times here. Yeah, I was kind of watching the lap times here.
Oh, there goes the
Robinson
56 in the wall. He's going to lose third. Mullins got on the wall too, but not as much as the 56.
That was a hard hit too. That wasn't a scrape. He got into the wall pretty good there.
No, with the 37 that was a scrape. The 56, he pancaked it.
I've done that a couple times here. It definitely ruins your night hitting it that kind of hard. But he's kind of staying right there behind the 37. I just voice cracked a little bit, but
don't worry, it happens to the best of us.
Getting down to the nitty gritty here. That 25 needs to hold off the 37. If he wants a shot, I think he pulls away if he gets by the 25.
And the worst
Almost
part of all
seemed like
this,
Go on.
I was gonna say the worst part of all this for a lot of these guys who had tough runs tonight, like the 1, the 20, the 27. They had 2 weeks off following tonight, so they're gonna have to think about these, this race for another 3 weeks until they get back into the saddle at Stafford Speedway for the next race. So it's gonna be a long gap between tonight and the next time these guys are on track.
2 weeks from now, we head to Stafford for the Country Road Sports Cards 100. But until then, still have about less than 20 laps to go here at Richmond for the America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan 100. Matthew Robinson continuing to lead the way. Jacob York trying to hold on to second from the 37 to Cliff Mullins running third. Fourth is Dawson Miller. And Jeremy Ringney rounds out the top 5. Here's our recap presented by Extreme Motorsports. We've had 2 cautions for about 9 laps, both consisting of the 25, the 1, and the 20. Only 10 drivers in tonight. 3 of them have retired, so only 7 on the track right now. Matthew Robinson, once again, continuing to lead the way with fastest lap, a 23.841. He's just driving away from the competition, but the battle still heat up behind him as we have the battle for second between Jacob York and Cliff Mullins.
Yep, that 37 has really impressed me with his ability to kind of save his tires and his car for that matter. I mean, Ryan pointed it out. That first long green flag run he had, he was in danger of going a lap down. It's completely flipped now. At lap 86, he's already working on Jacob York for second. That car's got no damage on it for the most part. He's looking like he's just, staying consistent with his lap times, with his line. Done a really, really solid job tonight with Mullins in that 37 car.
He's trying to do everything he can to pass the 25 without hitting him.
Well, you got to think, he's not communicating at all with the 40. These two don't have any clue if the 40's good on fuel or not. This could very well be the race for the win.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think you go until the end. You go until the checkered flag flies, so you're not sure, no matter what happens, if you're racing for, second right now, if you're racing for the lead, if you're racing for third, fourth, you gotta go until that checkered flag drops. And a lot of these guys are going to be thinking, hopefully that 40 is short on fuel and won't be able to make it to the end. I mean, he's working right now. He has been out on the track for 55 laps in that number 40 car.
.37 still not giving up.
Also want to give a reminder to our viewers out there, coverage of the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series is brought to you by Country Road Sports Cards, LLC. At Country Road Sports Cards, you will find high-quality sports cards at very reasonable prices. All shipping is fast and will come in a bubble mailer, plain white envelope, or other protected container, and orders totaling $10 or more will have USPS tracking included. Go to Country Road Sports Cards, LLC store on eBay and find your newest card or diecast to add to your collection today, as the 37's making a move for second.
He's trying to add second place to his collection right now of finishes in the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. He's still underneath the 25 of York, had an awkward entry going into 1 and 2, trying to seal the deal here in 3 and 4. York not giving up high as they come off of turn 4. The 37's got the edge at the moment. Gonna go into
looking
turn
at
1.
the numbers, guys, Matthew Robinson has just hit 60 laps on his fuel run right now. Granted, that includes a caution flag period, but he is at 60 laps right now as this battle for second is still heating up.
Yep, the 25 of York not giving up on the top just yet. I spoke too soon. The 37 of Mullins now clear for a second as the 25 of York trying to cross him over on the front stretch here going into turn 1. We've seen this a bunch of times where York sends it in and makes a little bit of contact. He's still underneath the 37. This could be the battle for the lead depending on the 40 of Matthew Robinson, his fuel situation.
You got to think Matthew Robinson's still pulling away. You got to think he's got enough fuel to make it to the end.
I agree with you. I think the 40's looking good on fuel. I don't think he's worried about it enough, or else I think we would have noticed by now. If he was short on fuel as the 25 and 37 just going after one another. To me, it looks like the 37 is quicker right now, but the 25 is doing a really good job getting good runs off the corners as he enters the backstretch, and now as he enters the front straightaway, he's still holding on to that bottom lane as they just hit the stripe. 7 laps to go here in Richmond.
And that 25 looks like he's got the preferred line as both of these guys are just sliding up the track. This is some great racing here for second as the 25 of York still not getting into the 37 just yet.
Tell you what, they stay side by side much longer. That 56 is going to be on their back bumper as you're riding on board with them now. They are losing a lot of time every lap that they've stayed side by side. Robinson has already stretched his lead out now to 6.5 seconds, where it was just 5 seconds a few laps ago. So losing a lot of time. That 56 could start closing in on both of these guys as they hit the stripe. Next time by, it's going to be 5 laps to go. Matthew Robinson.
Ooh, the 25 of York again underneath the 37. Don't know. Well, now we do know. The 37 is clear of second. The 25 of York still behind, still trying to get past him once more. So we got 5 laps left.
He's got, that's for sure. Looks like the 40 and Matthew Robinson's actually catching some lap traffic here. Hit the stripe, 4 laps to go. Whoa. He's going to have to work around the 34 of Rick Ward, as Ward's actually just going to pull up next to the wall, give Robinson the bottom. Very, very good move there by both of those drivers. Robinson clear off the turn 2, down the back straightaway. This time when he hits the stripe, he's going to have 3 more laps to go.
He has stretched the lead over 7 seconds now between the 37 and the 25. Battle for second still going on. York not giving up just yet. We've seen him use his bumper before. I have a feeling we might be able to see it once more.
Yeah, 37's kind of starting to pull away slowly. Like I said, he just looked a little bit faster. I think he's done a much better job saving his tires. And his car for that matter. He doesn't seem to be abusing his stuff up. Looking good in that 37 car. It's kind of starting to slightly, like I said, slowly stretch out his gap between him and the 25. Robinson now 2 laps to go. He's got the 33 of Johnny Collier, his teammate, in front of him. I'm sure that'll be a pretty easy lap car to get around if he even does manage to get to the back bumper of the 33. This time around, turns 3 and 4. Robinson coming off of turn 4. He's going to get the white flag.
White flag one more time around for the America's Auto Auction 100 here at Richmond. It's all been the 40 of Matthew Robinson from the drop of the green flag. Other than a few pit stops due to cautions, he has been the most dominant car not only in tonight, but the regular season in the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. He's going to come off of turn number 4. He's going to collect his 3rd win of the year, and he will win at Richmond.
Yeah, the battle for second kind of settled out. Cliff Mullen's going to get the spot. York's going to pull to the bottom. He'll take home a 3rd place finish. Solid run for him. Dawson Miller in 4th. Another solid run for Jeremy Rigney in 5th.
And Johnny Collier, the teammate of Matthew Robinson, going to finish on the lead lap in 6th. Rick Ward going to finish 7th. 8th will be James Shainwolf. 9th is Jeremy Knapp. And Sebastian Miller will round out the top 10. Unfortunate night for him, ended way too early, but
just sent it
it's
down
all
through the
40 of Matthew Robinson.
He did his burnout. He sent it down through the grass on the out towards the start-finish line, actually, as he's doing his celebration here on the front stretch. A good run for the 40. We're going to get a chance to talk to him in a little bit. We can actually interview the top 3 tonight, so let me try to get the 25 of Jacob York up here really quick, and we'll get in a word with him. Of course, we got a lot to talk about. We'll see if we can get him to kind of speak on his night. Jacob York, Jacob Bell up in the booth, man. 3rd place finish. I think this is your best finish of the season. It was an eventful night. How would you describe your race here, Richmond?
It was definitely a different one. Started off pretty good, and it just kind of faded as the night went on with a little bit of damage. I think we had like 47 seconds worth of optional repairs there at the end, which kept me from making a charge towards Robinson, and ultimately at the end let Mullins get around me.
Down though towards the end, I think the caution around lap 54, you put on right side tires. You kind of saved that towards the end. Did that help you think, in making it up through the field?
Yeah, it was a little bit of that, and there on that restart, we had 2 cars just kind of let us go, and we was jockeying through the field and got behind our teammate Dawson there, and he thought we were a little bit faster than him and maybe could make a charge at Matthew, so we helped each other out, and he decided to let me go, and I tried to make the run towards him, but I had just burned my stuff up by then.
Well, awesome run here tonight, man. Best finish of the season. You got any special shout-outs you want to give before we let you go here?
Yeah, I want to shout out Miller Racing Graphics for doing everything they do for me, keeping my car looking good each and every week, and helping out with, of course, Team JBR's paint jobs as well. Can't thank JBR enough for letting me have this opportunity to be on the team, and thanks to the fans out there watching.
Congratulations. Go ahead and go celebrate that 3rd place run here tonight. with a strong run for the 25 car. We're going to go ahead and now move on to our second place finisher here tonight. The number 37 of Cliff Mullins, if I can find him down here, who had a very, very strong run. Still looking for him. There he is. I see him. I think this is the first time we're going to get to talk to him all season. I don't know if we've had an interview with him before. Hey, Cliff Mullins, it's Jacob Bell up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, an awesome run here tonight. Your third top 5 finish of the season. You did a really good job staying patient, keeping that car clean, man. Kind of walk us through your night.
Well, it started off pretty rough with the black flag for changing lanes. I completely forgot about that rule and needed a caution and finally got one. Went ahead and I think I went ahead and took my tires then because every single race that we've tried to do the early pit for gas, I never put tires on it. So I decided to put tires on it this time and felt like we were pretty good on a long run. And, got right there towards the end of the race. We were up towards the front and battling with the 84 and I kind of got into him, turned him sideways a little bit. I didn't want to do that, but I let the 40 get out in front of us, and I kind of felt like I knew that the 56 and I think the 25, both of them had tires fresher than mine, so I was waiting for them to burn their stuff up and slowly make my way around them and battled hard with the 25 and come away with a second, but yeah, I felt like I probably could have done something with the 40, could have had a clean shot at him right there towards the end of the race on the long run.
I think you mentioned how patient you were here tonight and using those tires at the right time. Most important thing is you kept that car clean, and I think that had a big factor here tonight as well with the, just really staying patient, keeping the fenders on the thing, and moving forward. You did an awesome job, man. Is there any special shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to BGI Sim Sport. I've been representing them for a while now. Kevin Powell Motorsports, race22.com. All the guys over there. My buddy Neo, he's probably in the chat. He's the one that did this paint for me. Everybody over on my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/2extreme37. And Low Drag Esports, of course, that's a team that we have. And so shout out to all those guys, and hopefully I can get one better here pretty soon.
Man, congratulations on a nice second place finish here tonight. We're going to go ahead now and try to get down to our race winner, the number 40 of Matthew Robinson. See if I can find him. Of course, he's down there in JW Racing. Who would have thought? Matthew Robinson, it's Jacob Bell up here in the booth, man. Another victory here tonight at Richmond.
Yes, sir. Pretty happy with this finish here. It was a fun race. Yep. I heard y'all were saying that thought we were low on gas, but me and Justin Rideout put another tank in the car, so we would have enough.
Well, we knew it was tight, so I was wondering if you were going to make it. I had a feeling once we were getting down to it that you looked like you were good on field. You're still running hard, building up on that lead. So I didn't think you were saving any. So good to see that you were able to get it done. Third win of the season, man. You've kept that car clean almost every single race. What has been some of the strategies you've used? I know you've had Justin Rideout, like you said, on the pit box helping you out with the calls. I mean, how much of that would you contribute to the success, and how much of it has been practicing, or any other real strategies you've been using so far this season?
Yeah, I mean, I practiced probably one time Friday or Thursday, I think, and practicing, man, it just really helps trying to find a good fast lap because you can't. These tires don't really. When you take tires, I mean, it helps, but it don't help like like the regular NASCAR cars do on here. Once you cool them off on like if you just come in and get gas, or if a caution comes out, they'll cool off, and that's what you really need is for the tires to cool off. They don't really wear as much as like Arca and Xfinity and Truck and all that. But no, just trying to find a quick lap, and try to do it every lap. And today was definitely different. I was driving it pretty sideways, getting in the corner, make up a lot of speed, and almost like my wheel was pretty much straight until I got to about the center of the corner. Back in out so much. But no, it's just a lot of practice and time. I'm on here, try to get on here every day of the week, and and race something. It's the only way you can get better, and I try to improve myself every time, every day.
Man, on your third win of the season, is there any shout outs you want to give, sponsored plugs as we before we let you go here to go celebrate?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Justin Rideout, JW Racing, and Johnny Collier. We all, help each other out with practice and everything. And I'd like to thank Exceptional Wildlife Removal, Track Racer, and you can use JW Racing as a promo code on Track Racer's website for a discount, and Grip Engineering. And I'd like to thank y'all for doing the broadcast. As always, y'all do a great job. Great job. I love watching them. And I'd like to wish everyone a happy Memorial Day these next weekend. I hope everyone be safe and have fun.
Well, congratulations on another great run here tonight. Third win of the season. We look forward to seeing you after our 2-week break at Stafford Speedway.
Yes, sir. We'll see you later.
That was the 40 of Matthew Robinson. The top 3 finishers here tonight. Got a chance to talk with them, Hunter. Different perspective on the race from each one of them, but another victory in the Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, the 40 of Matthew Robinson's just continuing to set the tone here that he's the most dominant car. He's going to continue to extend that points lead he's got. 6 races into the season, he's got 3 wins. It's pretty hard to throw him off that throne right now.
For sure. Any final thoughts you want to give out there, Ryan or Harold, before we wrap things up here in Richmond?
Well, once again, a dominant performance there by the 40 as predicted. Man, I tell you what, it's Memorial Day weekend next weekend. We got a long week of extreme racing here. This is a good way to kick it off. Pretty good battles, but other than the leader, because he checked out, but good way to set the tone for the week, extreme week. So pretty excited. All of us go to Hot Atlanta.
Yep. We're going to be at Atlanta every single night this week. Tomorrow night, the ARCA Series is going to take on Hot Atlanta, as Ryan called it, for their 6th race of the season. You can find all the action on Max Speed TV over on YouTube with Joshua Medlock. They'll be calling all races from there, so make sure you guys tune in to keep up to date with all the all the racing going on here in Extreme Motorsports 99. Follow down below on the Twitch channel as well, so you don't miss any of our episodes of Fuel Fridays, which we're going to have on this Friday. And for the rest of the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series, when we get back here after a 2-week break. Hunter, man, tonight was a fun one. We're going to be back here in a few more weeks.
Yeah, June 13th, I believe, we'll be back for race number 7 of the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series at Stafford. It'll be the Country Road Sports Cars 100. Big shout out to them for sponsoring us. Miller Racing Graphics as well, Dogtopia. Extreme Motorsports for our little recap. And Western Michigan Auto Auctions for sponsoring tonight's race at Richmond. Matthew Robinson will take the dub for the 3rd time this year. And we will see you guys in a few weeks from Stafford.
What an exciting race brought to you by Wendigo Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors, drivers, and viewers. We'll see you at the next turn.